Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Another match week is upon us, match week 10 now. And we've got some exciting games coming up this weekend. One in particular, which I'll be analysing, is Liverpool's next fixture, which is against Brighton. So, on paper, I guess this would be a straightforward win considering how well Liverpool have been since the start of the season, to be honest with you. Obviously, our last fixture against Manchester United, where we won 5-0, if you hadn't known that. So we're in great form. Midweek, we won 2-0 against Preston with our second string. So overall, the squad are on quite a high right now in terms of confidence and form. So, yes, like I said, on paper, it should be a straightforward win. But just to sort of play devil's advocate, our season against Brighton last year wasn't that great, to be honest. We drew 1-1 against Brighton in November, where Pascal Gross scored a last-minute penalty. And in February, where we had a torrid time, don't need to remind everyone, but yeah, we had a very terrible spell where we were losing consecutive home games, and this was no different. And Ozzie scored the winning goal for Brighton during that fixture. So, if you consider the last couple of fixtures, it hasn't been our sort of favourite opposition, but this is a different Liverpool team. This is a team that's pretty much dominating English football right now, in my opinion. Still unbeaten in the league and has shown some amazing form this season. So let's begin with my predicted lineup for both teams. So we'll start with Liverpool. Last fixture, we didn't have Matip, Fabinho, Thiago, or Mane, and we still managed to destroy Manchester United. So, you guys, have to remind you here and there, we won 5-0, if you hadn't noticed. Which, if you look at it, that's pretty much our starting 11 players there. So, considering that we played our second string, so Origi scored a phenomenal goal. So that's his thing, isn't it? Just doing clutch moments for the club, and Takumi Minamino as well. So I don't see any of the players involved in this fixture, maybe from the bench, but I doubt they'll start. Nico Williams had a good game, which was good to see, returning from injury. But in goal, has to be Alisson. Adrian kept a clean sheet. Obviously, he's not going to start a Premier League game for the Reds this weekend. Back four, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold pretty much shooing for the fullback positions, hoping there's no sort of injuries between now and Saturday. Back four is a bit of a dilemma for Klopp, I would say, because I was really impressed with Konate in terms of how he performed against Manchester United last week. Young player, obviously still getting used to English football, but also the way we play football at Liverpool. So it's a tough one for Klopp, but me personally, I'd go for Van Dijk and Matip. For me, that's our best pairing in the squad. And I feel like they've formed such a great partnership. It wouldn't be the right time to sort of break that apart, considering both of them are fit right now. So that would definitely be my back four. Midfield, so there's been news that Fabinho should be fit to start this game. So for me, he has to go straight into the team. So I've gone with Fabinho. Jordan Henderson for me as well. Naby Keita, I'm not sure. I know it's not a serious injury, but I don't think he'll be playing this week. Very much doubt that. But there isn't a sort of timeline in terms of when he'll return. So hopefully it's not a very sort of lengthy spell for him in the sidelines. And we see him in action very soon. As you know, he had sort of like split moments last week where he had a fantastic performance against Manchester United, and then the fixture before against Atletico, scored a great goal, but it just his defensive duties unfortunately were lacking, and therefore he was substituted at half-time. So, but with this fixture, I'll definitely play for Curtis Jones. I've been so impressed with him whenever I've seen him play, even against Preston, showing some nice silky skills in the right areas as well. So yeah, definitely a player on a high right now with great confidence. Up front, King Salah will have to start. Obviously, I'd go for Firmino just to lead the line, and I'd bring back Mane as well. So I think this fixture, I think might suit to have Firmino in here where he can drop a bit deep. As I'll go into more detail with Brighton, but they play a 3-5-2 formation, so the midfield will be quite compact and they will be pressing on us quite a bit. So to have that sort of extra striker dropping deep and getting balls where they can thread it to Mane and Salah, who will be playing on the shoulder between the fullback and the centre back in their sides. So I think this would be the right partnership for this fixture. So yeah, so that's the Liverpool lineup there. We can speak about Brighton as well. So Brighton, for me, have a great setup in terms of how they play. 3-5-2, not my sort of favorite formation, but I feel like in terms of what they have in the squad, it works. So they've got solid defenders in Lewis Dunk, Burn and Veltman as well as Shane Duffy, who's in and out of the team. But for me, the more surprise for Brighton is that Lamptey hasn't played that many games this season. I know in the start of the season, he had an injury, but I believe he's fit now. So I would, if I was Potter, I would certainly start Lamptey in this fixture as, for me, he's a great young talent, especially when he burst into the scene last season, I believe it was. Formidable pace and great crossing ability as well. So if he's fully fit, I would probably start him if I was the Brighton manager, as I feel like he would present a different dilemma for Liverpool, because it wouldn't be the type of fullback they would probably play against other teams, because he has such raw pace and he will trouble our left-hand side. So for me, that would be a consideration for Graham Potter there. We've got old boy Adam Lallana set to make his return to Anfield, which would be nice to see. Cucurella, who for me has been a great signing for Brighton, a player who's pretty much versatile on the left-hand side, can play left back, left wing back, left mid, and even right wing if required. So he'll certainly present a threat on the left-hand side, and he's got a decent cross in him as well. So because of this new acquisition, I guess it's allowed Trossard, who for me is arguably Brighton's best player, the license to play more centrally, but cause havoc in the middle of the park and have more freedom to sort of be creative and pop up in areas where he can score more goals. So yeah, they've got a really exciting team. I'm a big fan of Brighton and the work that Graham Potter has done. I feel like he's done a great job so far, and they play a good brand of football, which is nice to see for a team that is towards the bottom half respectively. So yeah, interesting fixture. In terms of their lineup, I know they lost against Man City, so we can quickly highlight that actually. So that fixture, unfortunately, they were outblown by Man City in the first half. They didn't do really well. A couple of mistakes from Sanchez, who for me has actually had a great season for Brighton, but he just had one of those days where it's just, the ball, if he's trying to catch it, it just wouldn't stick to his hand. So he just had a couple of bad moments there. But yeah, in general, I feel like the second half they did a lot better, and they were able to get a penalty as well with McAllister scoring from the spot line, penalty spot, sorry. Ederson, very unlucky not to actually save it. He did get fingertips to it, but McAllister put a lot of power into the ball. So, but yeah, not a good result for Brighton in their last fixture. But I feel like it's a team that can cause top teams trouble as well, just because of the way they're set up. They're quite defensively compact, and they wouldn't really allow too many opportunities through. Obviously, one of our key assets this season has been from our set pieces, where we've actually scored quite a few goals. So, as much as I've been praising Brighton here, this fixture, I don't see them troubling Liverpool whatsoever. This is a different Liverpool team. Our confidence is sky high right now. And we've got one of the most informed players in Mo Salah right now, who pretty much whatever he touches turns to gold. And I expect him to score a couple of goals at least this weekend. So in terms of my score prediction, might sound a bit like wayward in terms of what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking 5-0 again, another 5 for Liverpool. In terms of goal scorers, I think Salah will get a couple. Firmino will be on the score sheet. Henderson, and why not? Let's give it to Mane as well. So I think it will be 5-0 to Liverpool. Let me know your thoughts in terms of my prediction, my starting lineups as well. It'll be an interesting fixture to say the least. But yeah, we're Liverpool in such great confidence right now. I have to vouch for my team. There's no other way to look at it. So there you go. That's my match preview for Liverpool versus Brighton. But there's a lot of other fixtures taking place over the weekend. So what I'll do, I'll share my screen with you guys, and we'll go through the fixtures, and I'll present my predictions of what's going to happen during the week. So here's the graphic here. So the first match that we have this weekend to kick us off is Leicester City and Arsenal. So what a great fixture start the weekend. Two teams pretty much in form. And for me, I think Leicester will be sort of challenging the top half. Arsenal, there's still question marks as it's quite early in the season. But, you know, they've just come from a good result, beating Aston Villa last week 3-1. And Leicester City able to beat Brentford at home, which is not an easy thing to do, as they've been very difficult to beat at home. So yeah, this will be a very, very interesting tie. How do I see this one going? I think it'll be a draw. I'm going for a bit more of a high-scoring draw. I think it'll be 2-2. I think there'll be plenty of goals. But I feel like these teams will probably just want to attack each other and see who comes on top. But I think it'll be a draw. So 2-2 is my prediction there. Second fixture, Watford versus Southampton. So Watford, for me, with the surprise result last week in Matchweek 9, beating Everton 5-2. And Southampton were able to get a point at home against Burnley. So Southampton have shown some great form for me. They've been showing some good brand of football. I've been very impressed with Livramento as one of their signings, who's been a breath of fresh air, I guess, for the Southampton fans there. This fixture, how do I see this one go? I'm going to go for Southampton to win, an away win. Probably not the strongest in terms of their away form, but let's go for it. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Southampton against Watford. We've just covered Liverpool and Brighton, so we'll move on to the next one. Newcastle versus Chelsea. So this fixture next year might be a different ball game. We'll probably see some superstar signings from Newcastle next summer. But until then, we'll just speak about current affairs. And Newcastle, fortunately, have just sacked their manager, Steve Bruce. So at the moment, they've got a caretaker manager. I'm not actually sure who they're planning to appoint. There were rumours before of Brendan Rodgers, but he's pretty much dismissed that. Frank Lampard as well. Steven Gerrard has been mentioned as well. Me personally, I wouldn't want Steven Gerrard to go there. As you know, for me, he's the next in line in terms of replacing Klopp. Hopefully not in the sort of near future, as I love Klopp. So, but if he was to leave Liverpool, I think Gerrard will have would have had the experience now, as he's been managing for a few years. So probably would be right and well equipped to manage Liverpool at his stage of his career. But if he was to be Newcastle manager, that's not a bad move for him in terms of his career. He could always come to Liverpool further down the line. But for me, I don't even want to think about that. So in terms of his fixture, despite Chelsea not having Timo Werner and Lukaku, who are injured for, I think, the next few weeks, they were phenomenal last week against Norwich. Even though this is an away fixture, I still see Chelsea winning this one. So I'm giving this one 3-0 to Chelsea. I don't think Newcastle will trouble the team that much. Mason Mount will definitely play a part. Although he was phenomenal last week. And they've got some good young players coming through. So, yeah, 3-0 to Chelsea there. Next fixture, Man City versus Crystal Palace. So, Crystal Palace, another team I've been really impressed by in terms of their brand of football. Man City just coming off a 4-1 win last weekend, but were knocked out of the EFL/League Cup against West Ham, which is the first defeat in 4 years, which is an unbelievable record to say the least. But so they won't be grabbing their hands on the EFL Cup this season. So in terms of morale, will it be down? I'm not too sure. I think when you've got a manager like Pep Guardiola, he's there to motivate and get them to march on and concentrate on the next game. So yeah, and I see no difference in that sort of attitude. So with this fixture, I'm going to go for 3-1 win for Man City against Crystal Palace there. Next fixture, you've got Burnley versus Brentford. So Burnley at home, we all know, very difficult team to break down. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for Brentford, as I just like the way the club is managed. I like a couple of their players, in particular Ivan Toney. So I'm going to go for 1-0 win for Brentford in that fixture. Tottenham and Manchester United. So two big teams, as we know. On paper, you're thinking this is going to be an amazing fixture. It's going to be an entertaining game. Unfortunately for me, this is my prediction. I feel like it's going to be a ball fest, if I'm honest with you. Two teams out of form. Two managers under huge pressure right now. And two teams that aren't clicking in terms of how they're playing. So, unfortunately, I'm going for a 0-0 for this one. I don't see much happening in this game. I don't feel like one team is going to be adventurous enough to attack the other team and just going to play it safe. So I think they'd both be happy at a point at this stage just to get through their fixture list, as United have quite a few strong teams coming up soon. So a point against Tottenham wouldn't be a bad result. So yeah, I'm going for a 0-0 with that one. And then the other fixture is Norwich City versus Leeds United. So yeah, haven't been very impressed with Norwich, unfortunately. They've been in very sort of high-scoring fixtures. Leeds United can be quite open in terms of how they play. But with this one, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Leeds United in this one. And then a couple of fixtures left. So we've got Aston Villa versus West Ham. Two strong teams, actually. Aston Villa haven't been in great form. They lost their last few games in the Premier League. And West Ham are on a sky high right now. So I'm going for a West Ham win. I think this will be a 2-0 win to West Ham. And finally, Wolves versus Everton. So Wolves have been managing to score some goals recently. Obviously, they had a draw last week against Leeds United, which ended 1-1. But their goal scorers are firing back now. So I'm actually going to go for a Wolves win against Everton. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think Everton, despite showing some great form earlier this season, may have felt the impact of their loss last week. And just to sort of kind of make an assumption, I feel like they might not mentally have kind of gotten over that result. So Wolves are a tricky team. You don't really know what sort of team will turn up, but they're normally in good form at home. So that's my prediction for this week. And that pretty much wraps us for today. So thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate the support. Next episode will be next Tuesday, which I believe is the 2nd of November at 10 p.m., where I'll be discussing these results from Matchweek 10, present my team of the week, give you an update on our FPL league as well, and preview the upcoming matches following of Matchweek 11. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in, guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you next time. Goodbye.